Christina Pickles, your 7th Emmy Award nomination earlier this month. This time it's for the short form program Break a Hip. How did you get involved with that?
Well, my writing partner, and she's not my partner, he's the writer of the show and director. He and I were having lunch one day, and I had just done Children's Hospital, which was a wonderful web series, and I loved doing it. The people were so happy and creative. And I turned to my friend Cameron Watson and said, we should do a web series. He said, we should. And he went home and wrote it.
So is that quick and easy in terms of putting the idea together? Not so quick and easy in terms of writing it, though, I'm sure.
Well, he'd written a movie based on the same character. So he transferred some of the ideas from that and rewrote it into a web series.
Tell me about Biz. It seems like she's just a ball to play.
It's so much fun. She's so rude and nasty. But she's getting a little softened up by her relationship with Wincy, her assistant. And the thing I love about this show, it's not just about Biz and old people. It absolutely is about old and young. It's actually about growing up and growing old.
Now, your real life personality, you're not like Biz. Is there a particular actress you were basing this on?
No, I was basing it on me and my mother. And my daughter was at the read-through, a table reading. She listened to the whole thing and she said to me, you know, Mom, this isn't so far away from you, so you don't have to stretch too much. I was a little surprised by that. But it is a real character. She lived in a studio apartment in Hollywood, a Murphy bed, left alone, her husband died, no friends. And much of her rudeness is based on insecurity and sadness. It's not forgivable, but that's where it springs from.
So you think having this younger guy that's helping her out, running her errands and being her assistant, is opening her up a little bit, making her friendlier?
He does. He opens up her heart a little bit, and they become really close. And I don't think she's had anyone she could trust in her life for years. So,
other actresses that have seen you in this, friends of yours and so forth, what do they think about this particular performance?
Well, I don't think people really tell you the truth, but everybody thinks I'm wonderful.
Well, I just meant in terms of sort of over-the-top actress.
They've seen me with my over-the-topness on occasion.
And there were some really incredible guest stars this year. Tell us about working with Allison Janney.
It was wonderful. She plays the landlady who's trying to get me out of my studio apartment so she can raise the rent. And working with her was a trip. She really was interesting, so free, and so in the moment. She really helped me to be better. The other person who changed, Biz, was Octavia Spencer. She played my doctor, who I refused to believe was a doctor. I insisted she was a nurse. She was a doctor. And her performance was so moving and so kind. Biz felt a little bit of a heart stirring. She started to become a little bit more sensitive. And that was because Octavia is such a fantastic actress.
Both of them were up at the Oscars this year with Allison winning. You must have had a little bit more of a vested interest in watching.
Certainly did.
Getting the news of this nomination, the 7th nomination in your career, tell us about that morning.
Well, my friend, writer, creator of the show, director, Cameron Watson, called me. He was in Tennessee on vacation, and he called me to tell me. And I actually couldn't believe it. And then when it finally sunk in, I was very grateful, very, very grateful.
I told you this earlier, but your former St. Elsewhere co-star, I saw Ed Begley Jr. last week at a party, and he told me when I mentioned we were going to get together to tell you how excited he was about your nomination and that he's pulling for you.
Oh, that's very sweet. We were always nominated together at the Emmys every year, and neither of us won, but it was a lot of fun.
Maybe there's some way we can get him to present this category.
That would be great.
Tell us about your first time at the Emmys, that first experience.
I sort of can hardly remember it because I was off the ground and not really present. I had a ridiculous dress on, all feathers. I don't know why I wore that. It was absurd, but I did. And the second time, that was especially made for me. The second one, I think I bought something that was already made. It's all about the first thing you think about after you're grateful and humbled and all of that. You think, what'll I wear?
Was there another particularly memorable time out of those 5 for St. Elsewhere going to the Emmys?
No, they were all a blur.
But several of your actors won. William Daniels won a couple, and Ed Flanders won one. Bonnie Bartlett.
Ed Flanders was the most remarkable actor that I've ever worked with. I mean, he was a friend for many years, and I knew him in Milwaukee when we were in rep together, out of town on tour. We were really just great friends, and I'm very sad.
Of all the people on the show that you worked with, who was most like their character and who was least like their character?
What came to mind was Denzel. You know, Denzel worked with us before he was Denzel, and he was amazing. He was so kind and real and nice and sensitive.
Could you tell even then he was going to have a really nice career?
I always think anyone I work with is going to have a big career. He did, though, didn't he?
I told you earlier, and this is no falsehood. It's my favorite drama of all time.
That makes me very happy.
I go back and watch those episodes all the time. What was a storyline on those 6 seasons that you just really loved?
Well, I loved them all. I wished I'd had more, but I loved everything they gave me to do. I liked the one where I was one of the first time they wrote for a woman who had breast cancer. That was very moving and we researched that very carefully. The other was when I was addicted to pills and I flushed them down the toilet. My sister in England, when I went to visit, she said, "You're such a good actress. I so wanted you to flush those pills down the toilet. That proves you're good." And my other sister said, "You're quite good on St. Elsewhere. I wasn't at all embarrassed."
Well, you played the head nurse, Helen.
I did.
But then there was a storyline within the storyline you just mentioned where you're demoted. And that had to be a very heavy subject matter to get into because you had been head nurse for a long time.
It was very, very, it's funny when you're in a series, you get really involved in your character. And I had some really bad days. When I had bad days, I sort of took it home with me. But one of the wonderful things about doing that show was meeting Norman Lloyd, who is still with us. He's 103. He was a doctor, you must know.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. what? I forgot.
Auslander.
Auslander. And he was wonderful, and he still remained a very close friend. And he said something which is, I think, really true. He said, whenever St. Elsewhere left the hospital and went into a person's home, it was not nearly as interesting and successful because the actual crumbling hospital was the heart of the story. And I think that's true.
So many inside jokes too. You'd reference other shows and movies, and the person on the intercom would say funny things if you were listening.
Yeah.
That very witty show.
It was. They were young, incredibly bright writers.
What did you feel about the ending when it's revealed to be in the snow globe?
I thought it was great. What did you think?
It was creative. I didn't care for the fact that they were saying that this world didn't actually exist.
Yeah, well, I sort of didn't believe that part.
And then your other Emmy nomination was for Friends. So many people know you as the mother of Ross and Monica. And you were on occasionally as the guest starring on that show. What was it like being on that set?
It was lovely. Elliot Gould was my husband on the show, and it was lovely working with him. A lot of people, I've been interviewed a lot of times about Friends, and they always want me to say bad things about the kids. I'm afraid I can't, because they were all, without exception, really great to work with, really kind, and really disciplined and really good. So I don't have any bad stories.
And that's hard to do when you achieve, as the 6 of them did, that kind of fame, kind of all of a sudden.
Yeah. You sort of think, oh, there must be some rivalry between these people, and you kind of look for it, and there wasn't any. They really supported each other, and they were really involved in making a great show, which I guess they did.
They are receiving at the TV Critics Association this weekend.
Really?
They're receiving the forget the Legacy Award. They give it to one TV ensemble every year from the past.
That's great.
So let's talk about Break a Hip again for a moment. Season 2, we saw a little bit of a preview of that online. Tell us where things are headed.
Where things are headed, you mean season 3?
Yeah, well, that's right, season 3.
Well, season 3 we're writing now. Cameron Watson, our writer, is writing it. And we have lots of ideas. I can't really give any of them away, though, can I? We better talk about the past.
You think things will pick up right where they left off, or a little bit of a jump ahead?
Not necessarily. We could jump ahead, but we might not. You see, we have all the choices. Nobody's making any decisions for us, which is why our web series is so fantastic, because we're in charge.
You don't have those suits up in the executive offices giving notes all the time.
No, we don't. And it's really joyous to be able to have input and to be listened to and to sometimes make a good suggestion.
What are you looking forward most about going to this year's Emmys?
Oh, being with everybody. It's so wonderful to be with all of the people that you've known over the years and to say hello and have a nice time with friends.
Well, it's a wonderful show, wonderful performance. I'm so glad you're nominated again.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the red carpet over at the Creative Arts.
Okay.